Here manager Lee Allinson after a 3-0 victory over Tamworth. Lee, firstly we were missing Kieran Forbes and Tommy Smith from Tuesday's starting lineup. Was this purely just down to injuries?
Yeah, Kieran Forbes just tweaked a groin on Tuesday night, so we felt it was better to rest him today to hopefully have him ready for next week against Colville. Tommy Smith has got a bit of a hip flexor problem, and so we again just thought probably better to put him on the bench rather than flaring it up. So we've got him for the next couple of weeks, obviously with 2 games a week coming up now for the next few weeks, so it's important just to get some rest into him as well.
Yeah, first half we scored pretty early on and we created loads of chances throughout the half. However, we seemed to lack some form of energy, both sides did in certain spells. How do you see the first half?
Yeah, I thought we started the half really good, started really sharp, should have been 1-0 up, and then obviously, you know, I know they've got a lot of injuries, Tamworth. I thought it was probably a great time to play them, and then sort of 5 minutes into the game, 2 of the lads had clashed, one of their senior players, and they've both come off, which again has probably given us a little bit of a boost. And then carried on from there and scored the goal, and then just felt that we dropped in levels, probably coming off the back of Kettering and Fire. It's always difficult, tired bodies out there. Just didn't think we spun them enough and allowed them into the game, and if you let them get the ball into Taylor, he's going to cause you problems. And to be fair, had a couple of half chances, although we've had 2 or 3 really good opportunities to put the game to bed in the first half, we haven't taken them. And then you leave yourself a little bit open to their chances, which they've had, and they probably should have taken 1 or 2. So it was about getting in at half time and sort of regrouping and going again. But you know, I didn't feel that we were quite at it today, really. But you know, to win the game, I'm obviously delighted.
You mentioned there 2 early injuries. Do you think this affected the half in any way?
Well, obviously took a bit of a momentum out of our game because they've obviously clashed. The physios come on, and they've tried to carry on, and the physios come on for one lad. He had to come off, then we carried on for 2 minutes, and the other lad's gone back down and had to come off. So obviously it stops your momentum a little bit. Was it a bonus for us? I think it was, because as I say, it was 2 of their senior players. You know, the lad in midfield's a very good player for them, so obviously I think it helped us. And I know, as I say again, Dennis has got major injuries, so obviously they were bringing on young lads under 18s, which again would have suited us because obviously physically. So yeah, I think it helped us, but also at the same time probably hindered us a little bit in terms of the stop-starters.
Yeah, second half was pretty similar. I thought we had a bit more energy in the second half. How would you?
Yeah, I just saying to the boys, you know, you don't want to come away from it. I think it's obviously the best opportunity we'll probably ever get to beat a club like Tamworth with the injuries they've got. And I said to the boys at half time, don't come off disappointed because you haven't performed properly and you've allowed them back into the game. Because while they've got the forward there and they played the forward at centre half, then he's gone up front. Obviously invite pressure, but Joe's obviously took the sting out of the game a little bit at 2-0. And I just didn't feel sort of the whole game that we turned them well enough like we did Tuesday night. Although I felt we broke really well, you know, it's a couple of times we were 3 or 4v2, we didn't quite finish them off. And then I just felt that we controlled the second half the way you should control the game without really going and threatening their goal. And obviously Joe's gone and got his hat-trick, they've thrown loads of bodies forward and we've just broke away and Joe stuck it away. So was it comfortable? I think we could have made it a little bit more comfortable, if I'm honest. I felt we invited a little bit of pressure that we shouldn't have invited. But again, delighted with the win.
Yeah, we've spoken about Tamworth's injuries. Obviously we've got injuries of our own. One of which was Peter Clark. He was back in the squad today. Was this?
Yeah, no, Clark is back in. Hopefully we're getting some minutes on Tuesday night. So it's good to have Clarky back. Hopefully Lucas Perry will be back next week. Kieran Forbes should be back next week. Trying to bring one in as well. That if we can bring him over the line, I'll be really happy and settle the squad down. Hopefully the paperwork's all done for Donovan for another month, so thank Stevenage for that, if that is the case. But until it's properly over the line, we can't really, you know, 100% have him yet. But we'll make sure that gets all done this weekend, and hopefully he'll be sorted as well for another month.
Yeah, just talking about players, Lucas Kirkpatrick, it was confirmed today that he's moved to Bedford. Was this mutual?
Yeah, no, Lucas has just found it really difficult to get in the side, and I want the lad playing. You know, he had a bit of a frustration with the injuries last year, and the kid needs to play. And he just couldn't get in ahead of Forbes at the moment. He probably would have actually started, so that's a funny old game of football, you know how it works. But he needs to play, and he needs to go away, and he wants to play, and I'll never hold that against a lad. Fantastic lad, brilliant around the change rooms. gutted to see him go, but at the same time I understand that he wants to play football and doesn't want to sit on the bench and be a bit part player. Totally understand that, and I wish him all the best in his future, and hopefully we can work together again at some point.
Brilliant, thank you.
No problem at all.